Have you or someone you care about ever hit 60 and suddenly felt like your energy switch was flipped off? No warning, no explanation. One day you're feeling strong, capable, ready to take on the world, and then seemingly overnight, getting out of bed feels like climbing a mountain. Your mind feels foggy when it used to be sharp as a tack. Simple tasks that never fazed you before suddenly leave you exhausted by noon. You're not imagining this, and you're definitely not alone. What's happening to your body isn't just getting older, though that's what everyone tells you, isn't it? Well, what do you expect at your age? But here's what they don't tell you. For many men over 60, what feels like just aging is actually your body sending you a silent cry for help. It's missing vital nutrients that once came easily when you were younger, but are now much harder for your body to maintain and absorb. Your body is literally starving for specific vitamins that could bring back that energy, that mental clarity, that feeling of being yourself again. And the frustrating part, most doctors don't even think to check for these deficiencies until something serious happens. In this video, I'm going to show you the 3 most essential vitamins every man over 60 needs, not just to survive, but to actually thrive. These aren't some obscure supplements that cost a fortune or miracle cures that sound too good to be true. These are research-backed nutrients that can genuinely boost your energy, improve your performance, and restore that vitality you thought was gone forever. And I promise you, number 3 is going to surprise you. It's the one vitamin most men have never even heard of, but it could be the key to protecting your heart and keeping you strong. If you've ever looked in the mirror and thought, I just don't feel like myself anymore, do me a favor. Comment, "That's me," below. You'll be amazed how many others feel exactly the same way. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more health insights right here on Elder Wisdom, because taking care of yourself isn't just about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years. Vitamin number 1, vitamin D, the sunshine hormone. Let me tell you about John. John's 67, and for 15 years, every single morning at 7 a.m., he'd grab his coffee and walk his golden retriever, Max, around the neighborhood. Rain or shine, John was out there. His neighbors could set their clocks by him. He felt great, had energy all day, and honestly, he felt proud of how well he was aging. Then winter came. Not just any winter, but one of those brutal ones where it gets dark at 4 p.m. and the sun barely peeks through the clouds for weeks. John still tried to walk Max, but between the icy sidewalks and the bitter cold, those walks got shorter and shorter. Soon he was just letting Max out in the backyard and spending most of his time indoors, maybe catching a little sunlight through the living room window while watching TV. Within 2 months, John felt like a completely different person. His mood plummeted. He found himself snapping at his wife over little things, feeling irritable for no reason. His joints ached constantly, especially his knees and back. But the worst part was the fatigue. By 2 p.m. every day, he felt like he'd been hit by a truck. He'd fall asleep in his recliner and wake up more tired than when he sat down. John's story isn't unique. It's the story of vitamin D deficiency, and it's happening to millions of men over 60 every year. Here's what's really going on. Vitamin D isn't actually a vitamin, it's a hormone, and it's involved in virtually every function in your body. It helps regulate your mood by supporting serotonin production. That's your brain's happiness chemical. It boosts your immune system, helping you fight off infections and even reducing inflammation throughout your body. It's crucial for calcium absorption, which means without enough vitamin D, your bones start to weaken even if you're taking calcium supplements. But here's the kicker: after age 60, your skin produces about 75% less vitamin D than it did when you were younger, even when you're getting the exact same amount of sunlight. Your kidneys also become less efficient at converting vitamin D into its active form. So even if you're doing everything right, your body is working against you. Now, here's a mistake I see all the time, and maybe you're making it too. Many men think that sitting by a sunny window for a few hours counts as sun exposure. I hate to break it to you, but glass blocks the UVB rays that your skin needs to produce vitamin D. You could sit by that window all day long and not make a single unit of this crucial hormone. So what's the solution? First, if you can safely get outside for 10 to 15 minutes of direct sunlight on your arms and face a few times a week, that's fantastic. But for most men over 60, especially during winter months, or if you live in northern climates, you're going to need a supplement. I recommend a daily vitamin D3 supplement, not D2 but D3, which is the form your body actually uses. Start with 1,000 to 2,000 IU daily, and always take it with a meal that contains some fat because vitamin D is fat soluble. Your body needs that fat to absorb it properly. But here's something important: get your levels tested. Ask your doctor for a 25-hydroxy vitamin D blood test. You want your levels to be between 50 and 80 nanograms per milliliter. Most men over 60 are running around with levels in the 20s or 30s, which explains why they feel terrible. Within 6 weeks of correcting his vitamin D levels, John was back to his morning walks with Max. His mood improved, his joint pain decreased significantly, and that crushing afternoon fatigue became a thing of the past. But energy isn't just about getting enough sunlight. It's also about what's happening inside your blood at the cellular level. And that brings us to the second vitamin that most men over 60 are missing without even knowing it. Vitamin number 2, vitamin B12, the energy activator. This is Paul's story, and it scared the hell out of him. Paul's 72, retired, and had been looking forward to spending his golden years traveling with his wife, maybe doing some woodworking in his garage, staying active. But over the course of about 6 months, Paul started experiencing something that terrified him more than anything else. He thought he was developing dementia. It started subtly. He'd walk into a room and forget why he went there. He'd lose his train of thought mid-conversation. Simple tasks that he'd done thousands of times, like balancing his checkbook or following a recipe, suddenly felt overwhelming. His wife noticed he seemed confused and forgetful, and she gently suggested maybe they should talk to the doctor. But it wasn't just the mental fog. Paul was exhausted all the time. Not just tired, but bone deep. Can't get out of bed exhausted. He'd sleep for 10 hours and wake up feeling like he hadn't slept at all. His hands and feet started tingling, almost like they were falling asleep, and the sensation wouldn't go away. Paul's wife insisted they see their doctor, and honestly, Paul was preparing himself for the worst. He was convinced he was in the early stages of Alzheimer's or some other form of dementia. The doctor listened to his symptoms, asked some questions, and then did something Paul didn't expect. He ordered blood work. 2 days later, the phone rang. "Paul," the doctor said, "you don't have dementia. You have a severe vitamin B12 deficiency. Paul couldn't believe it. All those months of fear, of thinking his mind was going, and it was something as simple as a vitamin deficiency. Here's what was happening in Paul's body, and it might be happening in yours too. Vitamin B12 is absolutely crucial for nerve function and for the formation of healthy red blood cells. Without enough B12, your nerves start to misfire. That's where the tingling comes from. Your brain doesn't get enough oxygen because you're not making enough healthy red blood cells. That's the mental fog and confusion. But here's the real problem for men over 60. As we age, our stomachs produce less acid. That might sound like a good thing if you've ever had heartburn, but stomach acid is essential for separating B12 from the proteins in food. Even if you're eating plenty of meat, fish, and eggs, all great sources of B12, your body can't extract it properly. This is where so many men go wrong. They assume that because they eat a balanced diet with plenty of meat, they're getting enough B12. But if your stomach isn't producing enough acid to break it down, you could eat steak every day and still become deficient. There's another factor too, medications. If you're taking acid-reducing medications for heartburn or GERD, metformin for diabetes, or even certain blood pressure medications, they can interfere with B12 absorption. Nobody tells you this when they prescribe these medications, but it's incredibly common. The good news is that B12 deficiency is completely reversible, but you need to supplement it in the right way. Regular B12 tablets often don't work well for men over 60, because again, your stomach can't absorb them properly. Your best options are sublingual B12. That's the kind that dissolves under your tongue and gets absorbed directly into your bloodstream, or B12 injections. Look for methylcobalamin, not cyanocobalamin. Methylcobalamin is the active form that your body can use immediately, while cyanocobalamin is a synthetic form that your body has to convert first. For sublingual B12, I recommend starting with 1,000 micrograms daily. If you opt for injections, work with your doctor to determine the right frequency. Some men need them weekly, others monthly. Paul started with weekly B12 injections, and within 3 weeks the tingling in his hands and feet was gone. Within 6 weeks his mental clarity was back, and his energy levels were better than they'd been in years. He and his wife are now traveling just like they planned, and Paul is back in his garage building beautiful furniture. Now, B12 gives your body the energy it needs to function, but there's one more vitamin that's crucial for men over 60. One that protects your heart, supports your testosterone levels, and works behind the scenes to keep calcium in the right places in your body. Most men have never even heard of it, but it might be the most important one of all. Vitamin number 3, vitamin K2, the unsung hero. Carlos thought he was doing everything right. At 68, he was taking his calcium supplements religiously because his doctor told him he needed to protect his bones. He was taking vitamin D to help absorb the calcium. He exercised regularly, ate well, and had regular checkups. His calcium levels looked great on his blood tests, and he felt proud of how proactive he was being about his health. But during a routine heart scan, Carlos got news that shocked him. His coronary arteries were showing significant calcification. Essentially, calcium buildup that was hardening his arteries and putting him at serious risk for a heart attack. He couldn't understand it. "How can this be happening?" he asked his doctor. My calcium levels are perfect and I'm doing everything you told me to do. That's when his doctor mentioned something Carlos had never heard of, vitamin K2. Carlos, he said, you've been giving your body calcium and helping it absorb that calcium with vitamin D. But nobody ever told you about the vitamin that directs where that calcium goes in your body. This is the story of thousands of men over 60 who are unknowingly making a dangerous mistake. They're taking calcium and vitamin D, which is good, but without vitamin K2, they're essentially playing Russian roulette with their cardiovascular health. Here's what vitamin K2 does and why it's absolutely crucial for men over 60. Think of K2 as a traffic director for calcium in your body. It activates proteins that escort calcium to your bones and teeth, where you want it, and it activates other proteins that prevent calcium from depositing in your arteries, kidneys, and other soft tissues, where you definitely don't want it. Without enough K2, calcium becomes like a confused tourist wandering around your body with no GPS. It ends up in all the wrong places, coating your arteries, forming kidney stones, and ironically, not strengthening your bones the way it should. But K2 does something else that's particularly important for men over 60. It supports healthy testosterone production. Research shows that men with higher K2 levels tend to maintain better testosterone levels as they age, which affects everything from energy and mood to muscle mass and sexual function. Now, here's the mistake that's putting millions of men at risk. They take calcium supplements, often with vitamin D, thinking they're protecting their bones and doing something good for their health. But without K2, they're actually increasing their risk of heart disease. Some studies suggest that calcium supplementation without K2 can increase heart attack risk by up to 30%. The tragic irony is that these men are trying to be healthy, following their doctor's advice, and inadvertently harming themselves because nobody told them about this crucial missing piece. So where do you get K2? There are two main forms, K1, which you get from leafy greens, and K2, which comes from fermented foods and animal products. The problem is that K2 is found in foods most Americans rarely eat. Things like fermented soybeans, natto, certain aged cheeses, and organ meats. Even if you eat these foods, you're probably not getting enough K2 to meet your body's needs, especially if you're over 60. This is where supplementation becomes crucial. Look for vitamin K2 in the MK7 form. That's menaquinone 7. This form stays in your bloodstream longer than other forms of K2, so you get more bang for your buck. I recommend 100 to 200 micrograms daily. Here's the beautiful thing about K2. It works synergistically with vitamin D. In fact, some of the best supplements combine D3 and K2 in the same capsule because they enhance each other's effectiveness. The D3 helps your body absorb calcium, and the K2 makes sure that calcium goes where it's supposed to go. One important note: if you're taking blood-thinning medications like warfarin, talk to your doctor before starting K2 because it can affect blood clotting. Carlos started taking a D3-K2 combination supplement, and within 6 months his follow-up heart scan showed that the calcification in his arteries had stopped progressing. His cardiologist was impressed and told him to keep doing whatever he was doing. These three vitamins, D3, B12, and K2, work together like a symphony in your body. D3 gives you energy and supports your immune system. B12 keeps your nerves healthy and your mind sharp. K2 protects your heart and ensures your bones stay strong. Together, they can help you feel more like yourself again, with the energy and vitality to enjoy this stage of your life. But knowing about these vitamins is just the beginning. The real question is, what are you going to do with this information? Let's pause for a moment and get real about what we're actually talking about here, because this isn't just about vitamins and supplements. This is about your life, your independence, your ability to be the man you've always been. Watching yourself slow down, feeling your energy drain away, noticing that your mind isn't as sharp as it used to be. This is scary stuff, really scary. And if you're watching someone you love go through this, it's heartbreaking. You might be thinking, is this it? Is this what the rest of my life is going to look like? Maybe you've started avoiding activities you used to love because you just don't have the energy anymore. Maybe you've stopped making plans with friends because you're not sure you'll feel up to it when the time comes. Maybe you look at younger guys and feel a pang of loss for the man you used to be, strong, energetic, confident, ready for whatever life threw at you. I want you to know that those feelings are completely valid. It's natural to feel frustrated, even scared, when your body starts changing in ways you don't understand. But here's what I need you to understand. What you're experiencing isn't weakness, and it isn't just getting old. Your body is trying to tell you something important. Think about it this way. If your car started making a strange noise, you wouldn't just accept it and say, well, the car is getting old. You'd take it to a mechanic to figure out what's wrong. Your body deserves the same attention and care. The truth is, aging isn't about decline. It's about adaptation. Your body's needs have changed, and that's not a failure on your part. It's biology. Understanding what your body needs now, taking proactive steps to give it those nutrients, seeking out information like you're doing right now by watching this video. That's not a sign of weakness. That's a sign of wisdom and strength. You have more control over how you age than you might think. John didn't have to accept that crushing fatigue and joint pain. Paul didn't have to live with mental fog and exhaustion. Carlos didn't have to accept that his arteries were going to keep calcifying. They took action, made changes, and got their lives back. Here's what I want you to do today, and I mean today, not tomorrow, not next week. Take a look at what you're currently taking for your health. Are you taking vitamin D? If so, what's the dosage? And when did you last have your levels checked? Are you taking any B vitamins? Have you ever even heard of K2 before today? Schedule an appointment with your doctor. Print out this information if you need to. Ask for that vitamin D blood test. Ask about B12 deficiency. Ask if your medications might be interfering with nutrient absorption. One conversation, one blood test, one simple supplement change could be the turning point that brings back your energy, your clarity, your sense of being yourself again. You're not alone in this journey. Every man who's ever lived has faced the challenge of aging, and the smart ones, the ones who thrive in their later years, are the ones who adapt, who learn, who take action instead of just accepting decline. Your 60s, 70s, and beyond don't have to be about managing decline. They can be about optimizing your health, maintaining your vitality, and living fully. With the right knowledge, the right nutrients, and a bit of elder wisdom, your best years don't have to be behind you. They can still be ahead. All right, let's bring this all together. We've covered a lot of ground today, but I want to make sure you walk away with clear, actionable information. So here's your recap. First, vitamin D. the sunshine hormone that affects your mood, energy, immune system, and bone health. If you're over 60, you almost certainly need to supplement with D3, ideally 1,000 to 2,000 IU daily with a meal containing fat. And get those levels tested. You want to be between 50 and 80 nanograms per milliliter. Second, vitamin B12, the energy activator that keeps your nerves healthy and your mind sharp. Because your stomach produces less acid as you age, you probably need sublingual B12 or injections, not regular tablets. Look for methylcobalamin, the active form your body can use immediately. Third, and this is the one that probably surprised you, vitamin K2, specifically the MK7 form. This is your calcium traffic director, making sure calcium strengthens your bones instead of hardening your arteries. It also supports healthy testosterone levels. Look for a D3K2 combination supplement for maximum effectiveness. Now, I'm curious about your experience. Which of these vitamins had you heard about before watching this video? I'm guessing most of you knew about vitamin D. Maybe some of you had heard of B12, but K2 was probably completely new. Am I right? And here's what I really want to know. Which one of these hit home for you the most? Did you recognize yourself in John's story about the winter fatigue and mood changes? Did Paul's experience with mental fog and confusion sound familiar? Or was it Carlos's story about calcium ending up in the wrong places that made you think about your own health? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Tell me which vitamin surprised you the most, or share your own experience with any of these deficiencies. I read every single comment, and your stories help other viewers realize they're not alone in what they're experiencing. If you found this information valuable, and I really hope you did, do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up. It helps more men over 60 discover this crucial information. And if you care about aging with energy, vitality, and grace, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We're building a community here at Elder Wisdom of men who refuse to just accept decline as inevitable. I've got more videos planned about nutrition for men over 60, exercise strategies that actually work for older bodies, and how to work with your doctor to optimize your health as you age. This is just the beginning of taking control of your health journey. Before you go, here's my challenge to you. Don't let this just be information you consumed. Take one action step this week. Maybe it's scheduling that doctor's appointment. Maybe it's researching supplements and reading labels. Maybe it's getting that vitamin D test you've been putting off. Knowledge without action is just entertainment, and your health is too important to treat as entertainment. Thanks for spending this time with me today. I genuinely appreciate you being here, and I appreciate that you care enough about your health and well-being to seek out this information. Keep learning, keep questioning, keep taking action, and remember, your 60s and beyond can absolutely be your most powerful, vibrant, and fulfilling years yet. You just need to give your body the tools it needs to make that happen. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care of yourself. You're worth it.